The Seattle Police Department is still losing more police officers than it can hire.
That means fewer people to respond to 911 calls in a city where violent crime is at a 15-year high. SPD says it's on the verge now of ramping up a larger recruiting effort to try to attract more police officers, and it's needed. The latest numbers indicate so far this year, 16 people have left the police force for a variety of reasons, and only 10 new officers have been hired to replace them. The department tells me the goal is to hire 125 officers in the city this year, but that would still put SPD levels far below pre-pandemic staffing. We got a first ever look at a new program that the department now has in place to try to attract more officers by changing what it means to be a cop.
History of race and racial prejudice.
That's Jack Yang, one of 5 new Seattle police recruits just getting started through a new training program called Before the Badge. As the name implies, before a badge or gun is ever issued, recruits now sit through a series of classes. Today, they're learning about the history of racism in America.
The community expects something different from us, and it's our job to serve them and adapt to what they need.
Yang grew up in Tacoma but wants to patrol the streets of Seattle because he sees a bright future.
Seattle Police is the only department I applied for. This is my vision of what the police force should be.
Nothing would be more tragic.
During a screening of the Netflix documentary Who We Are, the class has raw conversations about anti-black bias in policing. Victoria Beach, chair of SPD's African American Community Advisory Council, leads the discussion.
Our chief even wanting to have a program like this, that's showing that he knows there's a problem and he's willing to make a change and a difference. That says a lot.
Growing up in Seattle, Beach says she's witnessed her share of police bias against the black community. She and her family have felt the pain, but today she sees hope.
I never dreamed, you could never tell me that I would sit in a room with an officer. I would not believe it. You know, there are some I consider my family.
Before the Badge is part of a promise from the city's mayor and police chief to transition police response to a community-based approach. The question is, will it be effective in building the force back to a level where the public feels safe? Sergeant Ron Campbell says yes.
Does this make the police force stronger as a whole? What about the cops who don't see this as being useful?
That's a really good question. So I'm challenging these new recruits to be leaders and lead by example when they go out there. So to embody the principles that we're teaching here and then show the veteran officers, hey, this is a better way to police.
Now, Before the Badge doesn't just address bias policing. Recruits are also meeting with local community leaders and business owners who've been affected by crime so they can gain a better understanding of the community that they're about to patrol in Seattle. Based on my reporting at the mayor's office and in Seattle at the police department, there's real concern about the levels of staffing that they're seeing on the streets. And we've heard this from business owners. How many times have we heard from the people that say crime is up, police have to do more? So this might help.
It's encouraging to hear from the officer who said that's why he came to the Seattle Police Department is
Right.
because of this kind of training and recruitment effort, but it will be kind of a while before we see the impact that this kind of implicit bias training will have on the officers and what
Right.
they do out on the streets.
Will community policing be enough of an attractor across the country to get those staffing levels back up like they were before community policing went into effect? It's going to be interesting to follow this over the months to come.
Yeah.